Ah, Let me say this. This will not be long. This is just something I wanted to do. I wanted to have fun talking about it. And this can apply to both men and women, but I think this subject applies more to the ladies. First, I hope everybody's feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. I just want to have fun. But on today's show, if that's what you want to call it, I want to talk about parenting and the need uh, for most ladies to, at a certain age, want to become a mother, and for fathers too. Sometimes you want to be a daddy. However, there are some people. Let's be objectively real. There are some people who should not be parents. But what about that person who really wants to be a parent, but they have no parenting skills? How can you help them? I am not a parent, but I think about it, and I've dated women, and some of them may have been good mothers, and some of them may not have. However, the question is for the person who really knows themselves, uh, that knows that they don't have those parenting skills. Are you willing to go out and seek help for it, or do you feel that no one needs to be taught how to be a parent? Um, I think just like anything in life, there's some things that are natural, but there's some things you really need to learn. If you want to, oh, there you go. Charles has no idea what he's talking about, but this is from my assumption and observing people. If you want to have productive children, it's not always a necessity, but it seems more likely than not that you need good parents. So, what about the person who wants to be a parent but has no parenting skills? How do we help them? What do you do? Shouldn't there be classes on how to be a parent? Shouldn't there be like a curriculum? Before you become a parent, you need to take this 2 months class. So, and we give you certification. So now you can go ahead and parent all you want. So sometimes I think things are just silly, but these are the questions that I wish people would ask. I've seen a lot of parents, both men and women, but I usually see more women with the children than men. And I'm like, damn, they're a horrible parent. And I wonder how many people that actually know that they are horrible parents go out and seek assistance in their parenting skills. So that's the question. I want to be a parent. However, I have no parenting skills. How can you help me? And that's what I would love to ask somebody who's a parent. What would you tell somebody? What would you tell them? How would you help Charles become a better parent? Um, I kind of suck at it. Would you help me? Hold on. What would you tell somebody? So, somebody's here. Oh, hello, everybody. I hope everybody feels great. I just, I like silly dialogues. I like to just have any type of conversation that would help people learn. And out of the box, much love to you, my sister. Uh-huh. Evolve May, Evolve My. I hope you're feeling great, Sister Casey. I just want to be silly and I want to talk for a minute. And I would love to talk to people who are parents. And what advice would you give to somebody who's not a parent? What would you give to somebody who wants to be a parent, but you watch them and they have no parenting skills? They've never raised a child. They never took care of their niece. They didn't grow up with well, all you need is one parent to have, I guess, a great parent, but they didn't grow up. Maybe they had the worst parent on planet Earth, but they're like, I want to make sure my child never suffers. How can you help me? So I say a lot of silly things, but these are the things that I would love to know from other people. How would you help somebody? What advice would you give them if they have never been a parent and they have no parenting skills? I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate of they should have some type of curriculum, some type of courses, some type of license that you have to obtain before you become a parent. But you can't control emotions, and you can't control somebody's need to procreate, and you can't control sex. Unless they can try, because they can control anything they want to. But I think that they need more courses, more information, more ways to help people become great parents. You need to really think about it. I don't know people. I'm not a parent, but I would love to hear from any parent. Correct me and tell me that I'm wrong. I don't think that parenting is easy. Now, I've had some brothers that I talked to that have said that you're never prepared to be a parent, but isn't there a way to prepare for everything? Like, listen, if you're going to play sports, they tell you to train to do. Before you go to college, they tell you what you need to learn a little bit before you can be easy. So that's the question I would love to ask somebody. So when people see this, so when you see this topic, this does not apply to anyone specifically, but it's a question that I wish people would ask. If I wanted to be a parent, I want to be a parent. However, I have no parenting skills. What would you tell me to do? Help me, help Charles become a daddy. No, I'm joking. I ain't trying to become a daddy tomorrow, but I'm saying that's what I would ask people. How would you help them? What would you tell somebody who who has never been a parent? If somebody came from a non-loving household, but they want to love and raise a child, what would you tell them to do? What advice would you do? What books would you tell them to read? These are things that I want to know. So if anybody can tell me, I would love to know. So I mean, everybody's writing, so I'm not gonna say what's up to everybody. Evolve May says there are no books on parenting, but I think there are books, but applying right from wrong in parenting should be kind of easy. I don't think so, because I think a lot of people they're just so subjective. You have some people say spare the rod and spoil the child, and you have some people say ain't no way in the hell I'm not gonna beat my child into obedience. So I don't know what's right or wrong. You know what I mean? I'm always curious to what advice somebody who is a parent will give somebody that's not a parent. I think that if you come from any type of structure, be it one parent, two parents, or a family, be it nuclear or extended, you should change. You should change your children. No, you should train your children from an early age how to function. And if they choose to raise children, they should, like, be prepared for it. You should teach them. You should teach them responsibility, just like you should teach them to survive on their own. This is my belief. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I believe this is what I believe a job of a parent is to raise their children to be able to survive without their parents, to be able to become not so much because an independent person. We don't have everybody usually, normal operates within a society and a group. So there's no such thing as completely independent, but become as independent as possible to be able to live in society without the need of assistance. I mean, we all need assistance, but without the need to depend on other people drastically for your survival. And like, there's a lot of parents, I believe, this is what I believe, that don't raise their children to survive. So that's what I would love to know. Any parent out there, because I'm not a parent, but what advice would you give to somebody who wants to become a parent, but they in themselves, because they know themselves. Some people don't know themselves. Some people say, yeah, I can't wait to be a mama. Then 1 year later, damn, this is hard. I don't know what to do. I need help. I'm joking. So Casey says, don't have any kids. Me? Get a puppy, damn it. Get a puppy, damn it. I don't like cleaning up no doo-doo. So even though I like my dog, I mean, I'll be like, damn, I don't want to pick up no turd. I'll be like, damn it. I'm joking. Shelly says, parenting is hard. It does not come naturally. She says, marriage is hard too. I'm just being honest. Nature or nurture is up to the belief. That's Casey says. Evolve Ma says, I mean, in parenting correctly. Box says, I have no kids of my own, but raise many. It's pretty awesome. So if you guys could give some advice, what advice would you give? Shelly says, be ready to sacrifice and sacrifice more. Can you be selfless? Can you put others before you? Can you go without so your children can have? I get what you mean. I would do that because I think that your children should always come first. I had a lot of friends, more than one, that are parents, but to me, they weren't the parents that I want to be. But I have some great friends that are great parents. I'm just saying, I've seen all over the spectrum, and I've never really sat down and just had that dialogue with people to understand their perspective. But I would love to know, for people who decide to become parents, who want to be a parent, how would you help somebody who has no parenting skills? I'm always trying to learn. So everything I ask is usually a question to get other people to interact and tell me their thoughts. So, this, for me, everybody knows my hangouts are always open. And if somebody wants to come on and tell me their thoughts, if you want to come on the air live and get into dialogue with Chuck, we can do that. And I'm always open for everybody. So I will paste it. I'll paste it in the chat. So if you want to, just cool. Let me finish reading. How the box says, provide and protect. It is that simple. Kids need you to keep them safe and fed. But if I just keep you safe and fed, would that raise a productive child? Is that all you need to be a parent? Shelly says, some cannot do that for themselves. I agree. Evolve My says, no right or wrong way of parenting, but applying right way to survive in this world. I don't know. There has to be, okay, right and wrong is always subjective. So I don't disagree with you on that. But I think there has to be a right way. I mean, there's a right way to conduct yourself in a society always. There's a wrong way. So there's a right and a wrong way to love somebody. I'm joking. No right or wrong way of parenting, but applying the right way to survive in this world. I agree with that. Adaba says she agrees with Shelly. Shelly says, not about a lot of money, but you do have to stay financially stable. Okay, so that's a great question. I guess it all depends on the state, but we could break it down. We would say is it 30,000? Anything less than $30,000 is the poverty level. So how much would a family? How much would a quote unquote single parent, because I know that they do have single parents, how much would a parent need to raise a child? Because you know what, you don't want to give your children the bare minimum, because you want your children to fit into society. So you can say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to overspoil them, but peer pressure is so strong that, like, okay, you say you don't need your cell phone because everybody got a cell phone now. You know how detrimental that would be to your kid when they're about 10. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, this is kind of interesting. I didn't expect. This is awesome because I really just want to learn. So I ask questions just to learn. Shelly says, don't do it. I wasn't planning on doing it until I become a billionaire, unless it's an accident, and I try not to have those. But hey, you know, anything can happen. Shelly says, you have to instill morals and character, discipline, set a positive example. Okay, I mean, I understand that. Pamela says, thumbs up. Hey, I hope you're doing great. Evolve My says, must have some way, a little bit of it of common sense, know how to lay it down or stand up. I know what you mean. Do how to. This is interesting. I'm just reading now. Had to be able to provide shelter, food, and clothing. You want your children to be healthy and happy. And she says it's not easy. At the box says it is not all you need to be a parent, but if you know how to love, the rest will fall in place. Do you think it is that basic, or just loving? Like, man, I love the world, but you know, I guess it is fall in place. And you have to have self-control. Lots. Oh, okay. This is a lot to hear. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to learn. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. Thought I saw Information Man, but you know, I'm just tripping. Maybe it just popped up as it was live, but it doesn't even matter. I do. Okay, Shelly, you said love is sacrifice. Why do you believe that? I think that you will sacrifice for love, but love is not a sacrifice, because you gain from love. I think I do believe love is an action, but I don't understand love being a sacrifice. I would love for you to elaborate on that. A Views of You, one of my favorite YouTubers. If you want to smile, listen to Sister Pamela, and you will laugh forever. Even when she's sad, you still want to smile because she's awesome. I just want to say that. And she said, I never wanted kids. Good luck to those that do. I'm never opposed to anyone who wants to be a parent. I mean, I think that if you can do it and you want to do it, it's a beautiful thing. I just wonder, like, for people who want to be parents, but they have no parenting skills, what help would somebody give them? And Evolve My says, putting kids first. Is that really a sacrifice? Like, okay, this is probably be a bad analogy, but it's going to make a lot of sense. I want a car. I'm going to sacrifice for the car, but owning the car is not a sacrifice. I had to sacrifice for the car, but I love the car, so it doesn't seem like a sacrifice at all. You know, I got my Lamborghini when I turned 33, and I never felt like it was a sacrifice. I'm lying. I don't have a Lamborghini, but it sounded cool to say. So you may sacrifice for love, but love is not a sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice, but you would never feel like it's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? That's what I think. It's like having to me, I'm not a parent, but I think when you love, it's like an extension. If you really love, it's like you grow with it. So I love my friends, and I don't ever feel like I'm sacrificing. I have sacrificed, but I've never felt loving people was a sacrifice, because it's a beautiful thing to me. So for people who want to become a parent, but they have no parenting skills, I'm always wondering what exactly do you need to be a daddy or to be a mother, or what type of, should you spank your child? Should you just talk to little Johnny? Come here, little Johnny, or let's give him an ethnic name. Come here, little Demarius. Demarius, I'm joking. Ethnic could be, come here, little Pablo, because ethnic just means any group. Come here, little Jorge. Come here, little Chunksy. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, oh boy. So when should you, like, I hear a lot of dialogues. Should you should you train your own children, or should you let them get trained from, should you teach them their ABCs and how to read? Should you give them high mathematics before they get into kindergarten so they're ahead of everybody, or should you let them grow with their peers? Should you tell them, son, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be a nuclear physicist, and you're going to minor in molecular biology? And then you go tell everybody, my daddy told me to do this. Or should I let my child choose their own way? You know, should I put a whole line up of toys in front of him and he picks the right one? I say, son, you're the avatar. You can use all 4 elements. I'm joking. I'm joking. So this is a question that I would love to know. For people who have no parenting skills, where would you tell them to go? What is the best structure for raising a child? I'm of the premise of the extended family. Because when you have a nuclear family and this, I shouldn't just say nuclear, but when you just live, just a man and a woman, you both got to work in this capitalist system, then your child loses that loving nurturing, in my opinion. But if you have mamas, daddies, uncles, sisters, brothers all involved, and you guys live like a network really close, maybe you guys all live in a complex together, or you own a couple houses next to each other, and you just have to share responsibilities, then it becomes much more of a loving situation, because now there's somebody always there to take care of your children. I'm still learning though. I just find all this to be a really extreme, intriguing dialogue. That's why I wanted to do it. I was like, man, because I talk to a lot of ladies that I know, and like a lady be around 36. She's like, Charles, I really want to have a baby, and I'm like, well, but I'm not married, but I want to have a baby. And I say, well, I don't know if I don't not tell you what not to do, because I think that having a mother and a father, where you have the yin and the yang, is great. However, if you choose to do it on your own, will your child have a loving system? So those are the questions that I ask. And for this men, you hear a lot of men. So you know what? I got to talk about some of my MGTOW brothers. They're funny. I don't want women, but I just want a child, so I'm going to adopt it and raise it by myself. And in my brain, I'm thinking, well, is that a healthy experience? Would that be a healthy experience? Because a lot of the brothers are so deep in their red pill rage that what if they had a daughter? You know what I'm saying? If you just, I probably would adopt a daughter. But I'm saying there's a lot of things people don't really take into account. But I can be a parent, but I'm a misogynist. I'm a misandrist. Let me be a parent. I'm gonna teach my son or daughter to hate all men or hate all women. I'm sorry. I'm gonna teach him to hate you because you're a Martian. I can't stand people that look like me. Martian die. I'm sorry. I got to go there sometimes. I just find stuff to be funny. The way that people think really blows my mind. And I like dialogues. I really, I don't want to control anyone. I want you to love yourself, love other people. If somebody does something you don't like, you can have a dialogue about it, talk about it. But it could be whatever. It could be whatever, man. I'm sorry. I'm just silly. Let me go back to reading, because this is good. Shelley says, I am saying love is a verb. Love, yeah, I agree with you. Love is a verb. You cannot just say, I feel love, so everything is good. I agree with that. Putting kids first, I read this, but it is. Okay, out the box says, don't get them used to Christmas and stuff like that, and you avoid a lot of peer pressure. But see, how can you stop them from getting used to stuff like that? They're going to go out and play with their friends, and their friends will say, what did you get for Christmas? We don't celebrate Christmas. What? You don't celebrate Christmas? You're not a Christian? No, my father's told me to be spiritual, and we're all connected, and we're all part of the universe, and I only see you because right now you're a particle, but when I go away, you're a wave. You don't exist, but we're all connected because we're all connected through one consciousness, and we're all one. So you didn't get any Christmas presents? But didn't I just tell you? You got Christmas presents, so I got Christmas presents. But you didn't get no Christmas presents? Oh, you suck. Your mom and daddy suck. I bet you don't know your daddy and mama. I bet you was adopted from ants. No, I'm joking. That peer pressure is powerful. Sorry. Loving, safety, and fed. I totally agree with that. But it's keeping your children loving. Keep loving your children, keeping them safe, and keeping them fed. Is that enough to make them happy? Because how do you make them always feel special? I could tell my son or daughter or whatever they are. I'm trying to do that out there. I love you, my little hermaphrodite child. I love you. Sorry, I still love you. Whatever you want to be, I love you. And they be like, Daddy, why am I different? But you're still special, baby. But what baby am I? Am I that baby or this baby? No, baby, you, baby. And I love you. I'm sorry. Y'all should have thumbed me for that one. But you got to love people. I'm not trying to change you. You are who you are. But I say, let's take some time and then we'll figure out who you are and you be that when you become it. That's what sorry. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, here we go. Before your needs are wants, I evolve may. I like to say it both ways because I evolve with you. I I think you always should put your children before your own needs and wants. I think that you should always put your children first. That's what I believe. And I know a lot of people, no matter what their situations are going through, a lot of people could have relationships with their partner or their baby mama or daddy that has devolved, but they still maintain beautiful, loving relationships with their children. And I know no matter what drama they go through, I see a lot of people that still try to separate their children from whatever drama. So I do think that putting your children first, no matter what goes on, whatever adversity gets into your life, whatever adversity impels you like Dracula, you keep on going. I'm sorry. Shelly Shell says, your income is limited. You have to make sure your kids are provided for first. So that's the question. Should you wait until you have an income that is more substantial than what? Okay, like we asked you a question because a lot of ladies here. Should you put children before your career? Because a lot of ladies say they put their career, college, and starting a career before their children. And I'm not telling anybody what not to do, but I'm assuming for me, wouldn't it be more beneficial to have children? And then after you raise children, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really figured it out because speaking by science, they always argue women have a certain period. Even with technological advances, you can wait later. But if you really know from a youth that you want to become a parent, should you wait? I mean, I think men have a little bit longer span, but still, you have to think about. I hear it from a lot of my friends. You don't want to be too old, Chuck. You can be 70. I'm awesome. I'm awesome at 70, so don't worry. I'll be 70,000 years old, like if you was a view, and I'll still be like, I'm gonna have a baby. I'm joking. A view says, I don't oppose housing a child or two and helping them get out of high school and college. There are kids that need support. But I say this. I mean, there are, but a lot of people, if you listen to a lot of videos, I listen to a lot of people, the term cuckold always pops up. So they don't ever want to take care of somebody else's child, even the children that may need it, because they say that's from the Red Pill Rage brothers. But I'm always down for helping somebody as long as they need the help and they're not going to hurt me. So I understand that, but I had to be in a better financial position to be able to do that. Shelly Shell says you have to be very mentally stable, and they're all agreeing. Hold on, let me go back because I'm going too fast now to read this excellent stuff. You guys are really making this awesome. Hold on. Okay, Evolve May says yes, Shelly, and view says I could do that. Out of the box. Remember, if you're no longer the mom, the child is a separate individual. I totally agree with that. I would never see. I don't see. That's one thing I've never understood, though. I don't be truthfully. I said truthfully. I'm gonna be truthful. I have never felt out to love. If I love somebody, I love them now. Now, maybe they wanted something different and they went their own way, but I've never not loved a woman that I've ever loved. I love them. I appreciate their existence. They're still beautiful to me and attractive, and it's usually their spirit that makes me connect. Now, if people bring me drama, I will run away from the pain, but I still remember you, the beauty of you, the touch of you, the smell of you. I enjoy the hug of you. That's just how I think. So I have never not loved, but I respect people. So if she decided to get married, I can love her from afar, and she could always talk to me. But then Charles, how could you do that? But I don't understand. I don't know falling in love or falling out of love. I just love. So you never hear me say, I guess I loved you. I love you, but I don't know what I feel. I'm in love with you. No, I love you. I could be in lust. Oh, damn it, I lust you. Damn, baby, woohoo! Why don't you come over to Big Daddy's house and let's play King the Castle? I'm joking. Okay, I'm just joking. Evolve. May says, son is 16. I ignore it when he's not in his right mind. So tell me this: how do you deal with when your child gets older? How do you deal with that? When they become independent, do you let them become their own independent little creatures? I said creatures, or do you still say that's my baby? That's my baby. I'm just joking. Always funny. Think of a baby. This is Shelly speaking. You provide everything. It's not just, ooh, I love them. It's changing dirty diapers. I hate picking up dog poo. I can just my niece. Why does I hate I had to clean her butt when she was little? I remember that. I'm like, oh. But I loved her though. She was pretty great. She's still great now, but she thinks she's too smart. I need to school her. I'm smarter than you, niece. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's changing dirty diapers up all night. Food, clothing. It's being sick, but taking care of others in spite of that. But you know what? it's genetically inherent. Even if you don't want children or not, you still want to procreate. You still say, I'm so turned on right now. I just want to hug and kiss you. And boop, like Blue Lagoon for the, I don't know if I got any youngins watching this, but Blue Lagoon. What is this? What happened? It's just natural. They didn't even know about having sex. They did, bloop, here comes a baby. How did that happen? Because it's natural. You ain't got to teach nobody how to procreate. They're going to learn on their own. You put a bird and bee, I don't care where they come from. And I always say this to people because they don't get it. You can put a man from China on an island with a woman from, no, that's too close. I'm going to say Alaska. Put a woman from Ethiopia and let them just be two people alone on that island for a little while. And let's give it 2 years. I bet you a baby pop up if they are fertility age. It won't be like, we're from the same tribe. I'm joking. But that's what it is. Proximity, man, connects everybody. I don't care what you think. So when you're not near people, they're the enemy. But once you get around them, get talk, they're human just like me. I'm joking, but it's true. Think of a baby. Okay, I read that because I go back. Involve my other parents who have been through the same situation to get insight on the situation. Okay, so listen, now I agree. If you have lots of family around, it's the best for the kids. I totally agree with that. Evolve my says, always believe it takes a village. I got Pamela Lavin about, I know what she's talking about. But, Shelly Shell says, if there's any advice I could give that I wish someone told me, it is not easy. Have support and family around. I think most people just have kids, but they haven't been like trained, and it is, nature takes over. You like that man, he's really hot, or he's like, baby, I'll take you everywhere you want to go, and you just feel comfortable and safe. Bloop, out comes the kid. And dudes, we don't even think like that. We be thinking, damn, she got a fat one. Ooh, I can't wait to get with that. I'm being honest. That's what they be thinking. And the other dudes be like, damn it, I liked her, but she chose him. I can't stand him. Why did you choose him? Damn it. I'm joking. Did somebody hop on and me not hear it?
Yeah, I did.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, my pal, Happy Gilmore 2.0.
So what's on your mind? Since you hopped on
Well,
my screen?
to discuss about what you think, I'm gonna switch it up still in related topic. Because imagine if someone were to come and ask me or ask you, saying, "I want to be my own independent person, but I don't know anything about taking care of myself." Do you think a person should be their own independent person if they don't know how to take care of themselves? Probably not. But it's all about the lessons learned in the road. Because like what I'm going through right now, my whole guardianship case. Imagine if I were to just have my guardianship be slapped upon me and given back to me when I don't even know how to take care of myself, like shower, bathe, shave my beard, get my bed made, etc. Do I think should I be capable of being my own person? Probably not. But it's all about the risks you want to take in your life. It's all about the learning curves you want to fulfill. If you don't know how to do that and you get in yourself trouble, well, that's your fault, and you just have to learn from it.
I understand. I understand your perspective. However, let me throw a question at you. Don't you think it's best for somebody who wants to do something to seek advice from somebody who's more experienced that can guide them along the way so they don't make those detrimentally life-changing or horrible decisions that could hurt them in the future?
Well, yeah, I think that there should be someone that should guide them in the right direction, like your mom or dad, or like in my case, my guardian. But if your parents are not always there for you, or like don't always teach you right from wrong, then how are you supposed to learn to that kind of stuff down the road when you get older to try to be your own independent person? Because my dad never took care of me that very much. He always would have me be where I have to be so close that he can see me. Like when I was younger and I want to ride my bike in my neighborhood with a few kids of my age as well. My dad only said, "No, Angel, you can bike, but stay in the distance that I can see you." And he never even really taught me the proper way to hang around with the good people. He never taught me the proper way to let's say, get to know people. I had to learn that myself with the help of my guardian, but I never had that much help from my dad. In addition to that, he was always a big, heavy drinker. Because when I was younger, he got himself so drunk that he had to have me and my siblings be transferred to Bemidji, Minnesota, where my auntie Kelly lived. And then that's when things start to become worse for me at the age of 13. But I'm not going to go into the full history. But my dad, he's a heavy drinker. and he never took care of me all that much. So how am I supposed to learn from my parents if he doesn't do my that proper thing? And my guardian has been the one that helped me all throughout the time that I've needed help.
I understand. Can I ask you some questions that may be a little, since you went here and I like this, can I ask you some personal questions?
Yeah,
If
go
you,
ahead. Ask me
but,
my questions about my life if you want to.
okay, but if you feel
Yeah,
that
yeah,
any,
I don't mind sharing it. I'm more than happy to tell in the open.
okay, so if you feel that anything that I ask is too intrusive, let me know because I don't
Yeah,
want to.
there's never
Okay,
been anything too intrusive for me. Never have and never will be.
okay, so
I mean, unless if you want my social security number, then no, I'm not going to give that out.
oh,
Go ahead and ask.
you read my mind in advance because that's what I was going to ask you. I wasn't, but that was a joke. But okay, so tell me this: since you went there, you grew up with your mother and father. Um,
Um, at the age of 5, my mom and dad got divorced, and my
mhm,
dad got custody of my sister Shane and my brother Donovan, and
mhm,
my mom got custody of me and my brother Dallas because I
mhm,
have 3 other siblings, excluding me, but 4 altogether, including me. And
mhm,
when I was growing up, my mom never took good care of me or my brother Dallas, and my dad would always send us money to buy new clothes because when you're younger, you grow out of your clothes quite fast. Like, let's say if I was a size junior, I would go from a size junior to a size small in like less than a year or so because kids grow so fast. And so my dad would always send me and my brother Donovan, my brother Dallas, money for clothes, but my mom would always take that money and spend it on her dates.
okay, so I'm gonna ask you. Okay, do you think that your dad loved you?
Well, he shows he says he does, but he never shows it that is in a meaningful way. I mean, when I ask him if he could stop drinking when I'm with him, he never does that. When I ask if I could spend father son time at like getting the things caught up or us going to the movies, he always has to stop at a bar of somewhere. So if he really loved me, he would stop his whole drinking habits and just have it be where it's father and son time. So he has showed it by buying me stuff. What I wanted, like in 2014, I wanted a PS4 for Christmas, which he got. And in 2018 of this year of January, when he bought me a late Christmas gift, I was looking for a new computer, and he bought me that. But whenever I try to spend quality time with him, it doesn't seem as though he doesn't care much about the time. He just wants to get himself high up on cocaine or marijuana and go ahead and get drunk till he passes out.
I understand. I'm going to make a statement and then I'm going to ask a question. And I've had this argument before. I've said on my channel, but just because somebody doesn't do what you want them to do doesn't mean that they don't love you. I can't speak for your own personal experience, but sometimes people have demons or issues that they fight through that has nothing to do with their love for you. But let me ask you another question again. You said it, but I want to be more um, concise. You never felt love from your father, but do you think that he loved you?
I never felt love, but I do think he does, which is two different things. Kind of like how there's a two feelings in a person's body. I feel this, but I think differently of it. Kind of like I feel in my heart that this whole thing is a big waste of time, but I know of me, they're just trying to do what is necessary.
Okay, so you talked about your mother taking the money from your father and going on dates. Did you feel that your mother loved you?
Not necessarily. And when I was younger, when I visited my mom in some other part of Minnesota for in 2001, when I was grabbing some cheese out of her refrigerator, she smacked it right out of my hand and spanked me with the belt.
Wow. Man, this is kind of I can hear it. It's hard to hear. It's hard. I'm sorry for you, brother.
Oh,
Um,
because he was eating a hunk of cheese. Because when growing up, I was a big cheese
mhm.
addict, and I still am to this day because I love adding cheese to things to give it burst of flavor. But for me, when I was younger, I would just eat it straight out of the block or out of the bag.
Okay, you are pretty. I'm going to say some things, and it's going to hopefully it's complimentary. From you, from what I hear from you, you make it seem because I don't know. I know what you're telling me.
Yeah.
You make it seem to me that you didn't have the best parents, correct?
Yeah, it seems as though I never had the best, but I know that they have been doing so. But I just think spanking me with the belt all over because I was eating a block of cheese, and me try to spend quality time with my dad, but he would much rather prefer getting high and getting drunk. And even back in September when he was released from jail because he had to serve a 3-month jail sentence because he got arrested earlier this year in March when he nearly killed one of his neighbors with the knife. But he could have been charged with attempted murder because his neighbor luckily survived and is still alive. But he could have been charged with a much higher crime. But the court decided to give him a lesser punishment and have him only serve 3 months in jail. And the day when he got out, he posted to his Facebook page saying, "Now I'm out of jail. All I want to do is get high and drunk."
I understand. So where I was going to go with this, from your perspective, from what I hear from you, you did not have the best parents in your opinion, but to me, from what I see for you on YouTube, you seem like you're a pretty productive and positive person. So there are some, you've kind of showed me that there are some instances where people who are not great parents still produce wonderful children. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I do. I just think that maybe that child himself never like really considered it. Like I think my mom and dad always had the best interest for me, but just never felt that way to me.
I understand. So as an adult, as an older person that you are now, do you forgive them for what they did to them, or do you still have a lot of animosity?
If my mom were to publicly apologize over the phone for what she did to me from when I was younger, then yes, I will forgive her and see her again. Because now that she's older, she is a handicap, meaning that she cannot go very much anywhere. Because when you're handicapped, you're either in a wheelchair or have one of those little strollers that you have to push around with you to have assistance with. So she basically is not as capable of going places anymore on her feet as she was when I was younger. So now she has to be handicapped and have someone watch over her. And even if she did apologize, I still would forgive her and I still would love to see her, depending on where she's at.
I understand. So let me ask you a question. This is outside of you, but I want your perspective. It's not necessarily to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you believe, or do you think that somebody who was raised by parents that had no parenting skills, the child of the parent with no parenting skills, could they become a good parent?
Well, yeah. I mean, even if the person doesn't get the proper parenting skills from their own parents, they could become a great parent themselves. It's all about taking care of the child properly and teaching the child the right from wrong.
Okay. So what skills do you think a parent should have? Can you describe it to me?
Well, for me, it's all about teaching the children how to communicate with people. Like, let's say if I was a child still and you were my dad and you were say, "Hey, walk up to that person with the puppy right there and say hi and ask if you could pat the puppy." And then I would like just go ahead and you have no, don't kiss the puppy, pat the puppy. Because you know me, I'm quite the kisser.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, brother.
But yeah, it's all about teaching the kid the proper right from wrong, from getting them to communicate with people of kids of their own, and it's all about teaching the kids the proper techniques about how to cope with skills and how to cope with the teacher when they start school.
Oh, okay. I always find that I'm not a parent. Now, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not at this time. However, I always think about the finances more than the love aspects, because I think that because I'm just a loving person, I think that I would love the hell out of my child. But however, I believe there are skills that people need to become parents. And I would love to know from people, including yourself, if you have any idea, what skills do you think that a parent needs to become a parent? Like, listen, there is nothing more crucial than another person's life. And as a parent, you are directly responsible for what you put out in the universe, which is your child, your prodigy. Prodigy, I don't know the word, I forget it, I gotta look it up. But the question I would ask is, you have to be licensed for everything. You have to have a license to drive. You got to have a license to do work. You got to have a license to be a teacher. You got to have a license to do this. But nobody's more impactful, or certification, I should say. Nobody's more impactful to a child's life than their parent. But you never see license or any type of regulations put on people to make sure that they're mentally competent or in the now finances is a tricky thing, but are they really responsible financially to be able to raise their child? And that's the questions I would love to ask anybody, including you, Angel. If you have any thoughts, feel free to speak. But this is for anybody who's tuning in. This is why I ask a question, because I know a lot of people that say they want to be parents, but they know it deep in their soul. They know that they have no parenting skills, or that they're selfish, or that they're mean, but they still want to be a parent anyway. And that always perplexes me. So feel free to chime in and say whatever you want to say, Angel. I'm always willing to listen.
Well, in terms of finances, if a person is like an overly spendaholic, then I would suggest getting a money manager to help with that, or have someone in the relationship do it for you. Because for me myself, I'm never that great of managing my own money. Because if you were to give me $150 through a PayPal donation, you'll see that gone in a matter of minutes.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's all about, like, if you can't manage your money, have someone that can or knows how to do it for you. And if you are in a relationship or a marriage, maybe you can try to have that spouse do it for you to try to make things a bit more easier on your end.
I understand. So how do you feel about just me making that statement that maybe they should have some type of certification or licensing, like meaning you have to take a class before you become a parent? Do you think that's a great idea, or you think that's a negative idea? What's your opinion on that?
Well, it's kind of like having having a certification to participate in the next Jitsu competition, or the next Ninja Warriors on NBC, America's Next Ninja Warriors, or America's Next Samurai, whatever the show that they do every now and then of the fighting the thing. But if you have to have a certification to apply to be on that show and the skills, then I think having a certification for parent is like it's in between.
So tell me why you feel like that.
Well, well, it's like saying that you have to have a certification for a cell phone plan from your carrier. Like, here's your certification to be a Sprint customer for life at the rate of $50 a month for the unlimited plan.
Interesting, but you still need to be financially stable to able to get a cell phone. So they're going to run your credit, and if you're not able to qualify, they won't even let you go on a plan without a cosigner. So why can they not implement some type of situation like that with parenting? I mean, that's the question to
ask. Because I think that there are some people who think that the parenting is easy, but when they get the first child, they realize it's harder than they think. Just like when some people say, this is going to be easy, it's going to be a piece of cake. But when you do it, you'll find out it's more harder. So it's kind of best to get the proper the parenting techniques or parenting lessons or anything of that kind from the proper people, and have a certification to do so.
Yeah, I just find this conversation to be I really wish I had some parents come in here and school me, because it's great talking to you, but it'd be even better when somebody who is a parent and tell me, what would you tell somebody that isn't a parent how to be a parent? I would love to hear the negatives and the positives. Go ahead, bro.
Even though a few YouTubers of mine are parents, I'm not sure if they even know who you are, because but I have a few people who are parents by the name of Jojo Walker and Brian's Paranormal.
I think I follow one of your paranormal. I know I do. But it's all good. It's no big deal. Whoever wants to check me out will. Whoever wants to join will. And it's always another day. I can always do a part 2 to this, because I know Casey said she would love to talk about it. And maybe I just do whatever I'm thinking. It's no it's a plan, but it's not really a plan. I'm not really a reacher outer. I just do me. And if people want to hop in, it's fun, because I enjoy talking to people I don't know that really want to join in, who find my content interesting more than I go chasing people, because this is not my thing.
Well, you don't join in very much of my streams as well. I mean, you say hi here and there, but you don't say can I come on, or when I do invite you, you are too busy.
But let me tell you this. I don't. This is the honest. I don't like to just talk about anything. Like I usually have a subject, and if you have a subject that I have something I want to talk about, I will always hop on. But most people, just to be honest, they really talk about stuff that either has no interest or is, when I hear the conversation, is not something I could join into, because I really don't like to talk for the point of talking. I usually want to have something to talk about, something that intrigues me, or something that I can get into a dialogue with someone. That's just how I think about it. So, if people like, I may talk about playing video games, and then maybe set up somebody may hop on, but what if they have nothing to say about talking video games? Then the conversation is pointless. So I never try to hop into any conversation myself that I have nothing to add to, or any perspective, and that's how I do it. So that's why I really don't hop on a lot of hangouts. And then I'll tell you more. This is interesting to me now. Like if somebody asks me about stuff, then most of the time I'm gonna say, well, I really don't care. And then people are like, what? Nah, it doesn't bother me. They're like, damn, you have no opinion? And I'll be like, I just want you to be happy. And that'd be the end of my conversation. And people are like, no, not him. Because I really don't, I just want people to be happy. So most of the things I talk about is either to learn or to get somebody else's perspective. And you can ask me, but I don't care about the price of tea in China. I don't care about, I don't want to see anybody sad or mad or whatever. But in general, I just like to have dialogues with people, whatever the subject is that I learned. And that's how I approach things. So that's why I don't just hop on, even when somebody say hop on, because I have nothing to talk about. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Brother Angel.
Yeah, it makes pretty perfect sense. But I just invited another friend of mine, so hopefully she can make it here, and and I'll explain it to her if she comes into chat right quick.
I understand. So for me, since I'm gonna just talk, and it's still about this. So I'm always self-reflecting, and how I look at life.
Okay, yeah, looking for someone who is a parent there, JoJo and Brian are both parents. I kind of figured I'd invite you on so you could.
There's a lot of feedback. Somebody has their mic on.
I think.
What's up?
Hold on. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
JoJo, right?
Yep, that's me.
We have a little feedback. Has it gone? It's still there?
I'm still here.
No, I was hearing feedback. Can you guys hear feedback, or there's no feedback?
I don't hear any.
I don't hear it.
Do you,
Maybe it was me.
do you want me to leave and come back?
Say again?
Do you want me to leave and come back?
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, as long as I probably just had turned down my mic because I had it on open. I don't have headphones on, so maybe it was reverberating. But it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
If people in the chat here, then maybe I'll see what we can do. But who knows? But
Yeah,
anyway,
I know when I don't use my headphones, I get feedback.
Yeah, so let me see. I think I got some headphones. Let's see if I can find something. But my question to you is, what advice would you give somebody who wanted to be a parent, since you are a parent? What would you tell them?
Study. That's what I did. I read everything, and I mean, no book's ever going to tell you how to be a proper parent or what is a proper parent, because no one knows your kid better than you. It's just that simple. I mean, every kid's different. The books don't prepare you for everything. They give you like an overview. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of things that typically happen. I mean, you're going to have those times where you have like really weird stuff happen. Like our youngest, when he was just under 1 and he was starting to walk and that, he literally ripped his diaper off and was like using the house as a bathroom, which was not ideal. And that's just, you don't read about that stuff. You know what I mean? So you get caught off guard, especially if you're a first-time parent. Luckily, he's the youngest, so I wasn't a first-time parent.
Okay. How old were you?
What?
That's what I say. How old were you when you became a parent?
My very first child, I was 22.
And how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
32.
Oh, okay. And how many children do you have now?
I have 3.
Okay. Do you plan on having more, or are you done?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, if it was to happen, it happens, but no, I'm good.
Oh. Yeah, it's still a
I
hang.
mean, I'll be honest.
I'm listening.
I'll be honest. Like, we wanted at least one more, you know. We love the idea of having a big family, but things get so expensive, and like I have a hard time conceiving and maintaining the pregnancy because I have a health condition.
Okay.
But aside from that, like it's mostly cost. Like I'm in Canada, so we get a thing called child tax. So each month, hold on one second, I'm getting over a cold. Each month we get something called child tax, and it's basically to help with extra money to help raise your child. So like food, clothes, stuff they need for school, things like that. Basically the necessities for the child. But even with that, it's still hard to maintain that plus all the bills. Like up here, it's really expensive. I don't know where you guys are from, but like up in Canada, it's really expensive. So I wouldn't have any more.
I understand.
Not if I can help it.
I understand. So I live in Los Angeles, United States. So what do you think? I don't know how the wage relates to that of down here, but if I was talking for a household, a family, how much do you think you need to earn to be able to support two children?
Two children, like up here, honestly, you need to make a minimum just to get by, and I'm talking like no extras, no car, no, you know what I mean, like nothing extra, just bare minimum, 2,500,
That's per
and that's
month.
for two kids.
You said 2,500 per month.
Yep, that's up here. Like our cost of living up here just went up because our minimum wage went up. So our minimum wage is 14 an hour. Where we live right now, like the house that we're in, is $1,295 a month. Plus, we pay all the utilities. So we're paying the water, the gas, and the electricity on top of that. Plus, we got to put groceries in the house. Plus, we have the internet, so we got to pay that bill. We have our cell phones, we got to pay that bill. It all adds up. And then on top of that, the kids' school stuff, at least 3 times a month, we're getting hit up for money for the school stuff. So it gets costly.
Wow. So you said 2,500 a month. That's $30,000 per year, and we're going to times that by 18. Man, $540,000 to raise a child, one child. That's a lot of money. I don't think most people. I mean, I know you probably can do it cheaper, but we're going by somebody who is a parent, and that's extremely expensive. I don't think most people even think about the cost of raising a child. When they decide to become parents. And I think just looking at that number, that's $500,000. That's a lot of money. So for 3 children, you're paying $1.5 million to raise them from an infant to adults. Now, some people can probably say we can do it cheaper because we don't have to buy the same thing twice. But still, $1 million is expensive. It's crazy. If you think about it, man, I'm glad you put some numbers out. And I know somebody's going to say that's not true, Charles. We can argue that. But if you look at it, man, that is a lot.
I mean, yeah, you can argue it, but at the same time, once you're a parent, most parents want to give their kids what they didn't have. Okay. And that's where the expensive comes in, because growing up, you may not have had a lot. So you want your kids to have what you didn't have. So then you are buying the name brand stuff. You are buying the name brand clothes, the toys, the shoes. That stuff gets expensive, especially when your kids are under the age of 10 and growing like weeds. Okay. When they get to teenagers, yeah, you can kind of get away with the name brand stuff because they're not growing as fast anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when they're under teenage years, you're going through shoes like I know our youngest, he goes through shoes at least once a month.
That's
I don't know
crazy.
I don't know what he does to them. I think he eats them personally. But he goes through shoes like nobody's business. And like we have one daughter and she's Miss Priss. So she's got to have the nail stuff and the makeup stuff and like all that stuff. The boys are into sports, they're into Lego, and Lego's not cheap. It's not cheap at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff like in the States you guys get a lot of the stuff is cheaper than what we pay here, but when you actually translate the US dollar to Canadian dollar, you'd still be paying about the same. You know what I mean? So even though it appears cheaper to me, it's still roughly the same.
I understand. Wow, this is really, really interesting because I've heard people talk about the cost, but to hear somebody actually tell me that is like kind of unreal and mind-boggling. And I'm not wrong, but I'm glad I don't have children. $500,000 is a lot of money, especially times three. Let me ask you this: as a mother, do you find it easier to deal with your sons or your daughter?
Um, I'd say it's a toss-up. My daughter's a lot like me, so we butt heads a lot. My oldest boy is probably the calmest out of the three, and then the youngest boy is a lot like his dad, so he can be easygoing at times, but he's got ADHD and ODD, so he's a lot to handle. So I mean, it is a mix. I don't think one's easier than the other. So like when parents tell me, "Oh, I want a boy because it's so much easier," no, it's just unless your boy, and I'm not trying to knock anyone before I say this, unless your boy is into makeup and all that stuff, it's not going to be any easier.
I understand. Do your children ask you? I mean, I'm assuming they don't have cell phones. They may, but do they have cell phones? Or if they don't, are they asking you for one?
No, actually, they've never asked me for one.
Wow.
They've never asked. They do have tablets,
Okay.
but they don't have cell phones. They're not old enough. They're all under the age of 10. So.
Okay. No, I'm just curious because I wonder like what age, because I think technology is so rampant that everybody's like, "Mommy, can I get a Pixel? Can I get an Apple iPhone?" You're like,
yeah, no, that's not happening.
Okay.
No, I was raised, and so was my spouse. We were raised to believe that you want it, you work for it. And that's how we're raising our kids. A lot of people are like, that's not right. Well, you know what? It's going to teach them morals. It's going to teach them responsibility. And it's going to make them have a really good work ethic.
Understood.
I would rather do it that way than just handing over things to my child.
I get it. Do they ever come to you with peer pressure situations?
Like,
mommy, we need to go do it because they're doing it.
No.
Okay.
My kids don't. I've never seen my kids actually take after people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I know this sounds kind of bad, and I've had people criticize me for this too. I tell my kids, look, you are a leader, not a follower. I said, I catch you following people doing stupid things, and your butt will be grounded. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
I do not want my children following.
Okay. This is a personal question, and you don't have to answer, but I'm just curious. Can I ask a personal question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you discipline your children?
Okay. Well, it all depends. So in our house, we have, I guess you would call it a policy. So I don't believe there is anything wrong with spanking your child. I'm not talking abusing your child. Okay. I believe if I have to repeat myself more than 3 times, you're getting a timeout. If I'm still repeating myself and it's up to 5 times, your butt's getting a spank and you're going to bed. I was raised where I didn't get that option. I just got the belt. So, I mean, I'm not talking about going out of your way and beating your child like some of these poor children have had done to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying enough to scare them. Not enough to leave a mark, but enough to scare them. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds really harsh and I know it sounds really bad, but it's a last resort.
Okay, so how do you deal with your children when they get into fights with other children, if they get into fights at all?
Actually, I haven't had that issue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I have always told my kids that if there is some kind of confrontation going on at school, said you tell the teacher. The teacher will break it up. Said if someone's trying to fight with you, you walk away. They know better. I told them, I said, if you pick a fight, your butt's going to be in trouble.
But how would you deal with it if somebody came at your child and they had to defend themselves?
If my child defended themselves and didn't start the fight, then I'm not going to punish my child.
Yeah, it's a lot of scenarios I just think about. So I'm always wondering, how would a parent deal with the situation? How would you deal with your children? Okay, what about sports? Are there sports that you want with your children to participate in?
No.
Oh, thank you. So,
no.
So you're not
I don't have. I'm a firm believer in trying everything. Now this is gonna sound weird because I don't mean it like trying everything in life,
Mhm.
but try the good stuff at least once. You know what I mean? You can't say you don't like it unless you try.
Yes.
So I would let them try whatever. I mean, if my kid was like 10 years old and said, "Hey, mom, I want to try bungee jumping," then yeah, no, that's not happening. Like something extreme, no. You can
Mhm.
wait until you're older. If you still want to do it when you're older, have at her.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna eat these potatoes.
Mhm.
They're so good.
So let me ask you. I could ask a ton of questions, but I'm trying to think of
Mhm.
questions not to ask because I don't want to ever come off offensive unless you say, "Go ahead, ask anything." So,
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
all right.
I don't
So,
get offended easy.
all right. So, at, as a parent, at what age do you think that you need to tell your children about men and women and babies,
Oh, so you're talking like birds and bees.
birds and bees?
Well, that's a touchy subject.
Mhm.
Not for me. The reason I say this is because up here they learn about it in school as soon as they hit grade 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now, mind you, it's not like full on, you know what I mean? They don't teach them all of it, that kind of stuff, like protection and things like that. That comes as they get higher up in grades. But grade 5, they start talking about like um, puberty and things like that, the changes they're about to go through. But my daughter, I've already had somewhat of a talk with her, not much because she's already starting to hit that, and the same with the oldest. He's
Mhm.
already starting to, you know what I mean? So I
Yes.
mean, he's my oldest is 9
Mhm.
and my daughter is 8. So I
Mhm.
mean, I've talked to them a little bit about that way, but the hold on one second.
Not a problem.
Sorry.
It's
But
okay.
like the sexual side of it, I probably will not even bring up until they're at least 14. I
Mhm.
don't believe that they need to know it any sooner than that. And the only reason I want to bring it up when they're that age is for the simple fact that their friends are going to be out there doing it. And I'd rather have them know the right information than the wrong information and wind up a teen pregnancy.
I totally understand, but that leads me to because okay, let me elaborate on this. I think that with the media, with TV, especially in America, I can't speak about Canada, but I think it's similar. Everything is so sexualized that I think that around 9, 10, 11, the children are getting exposed to adult situations. So I would assume that you might have to tell them sooner than later, but I don't know anything about it. But that's why I was asking you. Would you agree with that, or do you keep them from watching regular
Um,
TV
if
movies?
the way I see it is I monitor what they're doing.
Okay.
And I think that's a lot of the problem is a lot of parents don't. They don't keep track of what they're doing. And I get nowadays both parents have to be working. Nowadays, not everybody can be with their kid 24/7. And I'm not saying you have to be with them 24/7. What I'm saying is when they are home, pay attention to them. You know what I mean?
Understand.
Find out if they've got a cell phone or a tablet, find out what they're watching.
Understand. So, what about video games? Are there video games that you won't let your children play? Like if your son or daughter said, "I want to play Grand Theft Auto."
Yeah, they play most of the time they play Roblox. They play what was that other game? Our one son's homesick today. What was that other game that you play? He plays wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Just normal kid stuff like Roblox. They play Five Nights at Freddy's, which I think is a creepy game.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of that game?
Yes, I have.
It's like a twisted Chuck E. Cheese.
But like the animatronics move around.
Yeah, but you haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese to know what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, I know, but well, no, they know what it's about. Oh, great, now he's gonna start. But yeah, like they play those kinds of games. Other than that, like if they're downloading a game, they have to ask us and show us what the game is first, and we go through the games before they play it.
I understand. I just think that it's so convoluted that some games you think are just good for kids, but sooner or later they throw something in there that
Mm-hmm.
why would you put that in the game. So
Yeah.
it's so much. I'm gonna have to do a part two to this because I have so many questions I want to ask, but just asking you is great. But I'll be more grateful. And, so,
Oh, go ahead. I can answer most of it. I can't promise I'll answer all of it because some of it I may not know.
I know, but I'm gonna probably end this one so I don't have to drag it out. I can go and then I'll probably do a little bit later today.
Okay.
So I want to thank you both for tuning in, joining in, and answer. I want to thank you, especially you, JoJo, for answering my questions, and Brother Angel, appreciate you for being.
And usually I can find the right people, and that's why I invited you on here, Jojo, because you and Brian are both parents for someone who was already through this, and so the advice and the information is necessary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys invited me.
Well, it's always great having you around, and I still like you, JoJo.
Well, I hope so.
I have no hatred towards you. But,
what are you trying to say, Angel?
Well, for me, my mouth is always open, and anybody's welcome to come on as long as they get added to this dialogue. That's just how I'm going to not let anybody join. I even let somebody who's a troll because I like trolls. You can hop on in and say what they want to say because I just listen.
I do the same thing.
Doesn't matter to me. Wherever, it's a pleasure. So if you ever see a topic that I do that you want to join in and talk about, always feel free. Angel always hops in whenever he wants, so it don't matter.
I hop around everywhere on YouTube.
I know you don't got no filter and no stop. He goes.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more concise. So, but I always appreciate anybody's perspective because that's how we learn. And I appreciate you. I appreciate anybody who tuned in. Thank you all. And I'm going to end this because I'm going to go eat because I'm hungry. So I'll talk to you all later. Hopefully we connect again.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.